Hello, everybody. We are live on YouTube. Welcome to this insightful chat with angelic Kayla. She is having something going on at the moment. She hasn't been able to jump in yet. So I just wanted to get it started for anyone waiting. No one's here yet anyway. Hey, there's Ginger. Hey, Ginger, how are you? And if it turns out that this doesn't happen today, I'm happy to pull some oracle cards for you guys, or even try some tarot if you like. I've been spending a lot of time studying, so if you're okay with, me still being new at it, um, I'll give it a shot. But until Kayla gets here, let's just catch up and see how everyone's doing. Yeah, no worries. I know this is normally work time for a lot of people, Ginger. Um, so no worries. This has been quite an interesting couple of weeks, hasn't it? We've been seeing a lot of things start to go down with the banking crash. And as much as it's frustrating, to not have to feel like things aren't moving fast enough, or nothing's happening. We hear that so much, but we really are starting to see things happening now, aren't we? Um, and I think that like it's so important for us to remember to remain grounded and centered at this time while we can. Um, and of course, things like light language can help us connect and um, integrate these higher frequencies as we're going through this time. Yeah, it does feel like we're in limbo. um, I hear you. We'll uh, we'll see what happens this weekend. I know, like, just more banks keep going down day by day, it seems like, or I guess every few days it just keeps happening. um, I wonder. I forget, someone's getting, there's going to be some big surprise tomorrow. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, the weather's been really strange here too. Um, if you're able to put, what has it been like for you compared to how it normally is, Ginger? Because here it's been like, it'll go nice and warm, and then it'll all of a sudden get extremely cold for like a day or two, and then go back to being nice and warm spring weather, which is normal here. Like, normally it's straight up spring here at this time of year. Grounding experience with a multimeter. Oh, that's so cool. I don't actually know. I don't know anything about multimeter. Is that like what is that? I'm trying to, like, oh, I honestly, I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. Yeah. Sorry, because you're in California, right? And yeah, sunshine, semi-warm day, and then crazy rain. Yeah. I think, from what I've heard, um, what's happened is, like, there's a lot of resetting, weather-wise now. Like, it was so manipulated for so long, and now it's gradually going back to where it's supposed to be, which is why it's still weird, and very weird, but then it's going to be better in the long run. Okay, it measures and tests electrical. Cool, that's awesome. So are you able to find like some places are better to ground than others? Is that what you're discovering with that? Um, and while we're waiting, I think I'll go ahead and I'll just pull like a collective oracle card for anyone who's watching or listening. Because why, why wait? And then maybe I'll do a tarot spread just on the general energies for this weekend that are coming up. Let's see. So much is happening so fast lately. I mean, we complain about it taking too long, but then all of a sudden something it'll just happen like out of nowhere. Just okay, curious to see what it was like versus cement doing socks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because um, actually I was just thinking about this when I was upstairs here. I was like, you know, should I take time to go out and ground right now? Because I had been earlier, but it had been a minute. But then I'm like, well, I'm in a house with wood floors. Like, how much do wood floors help us ground? Already, I would think it'd be a lot more than like carpeted floors. Oh, cool! You shared some on your Instagram. Put your Instagram in the chat, and that way we can check it out. Hey, Ava, welcome. Kayla's not here yet. I think she's having some stuff going on with her family, so we'll see. We might just do a little quick Soul Tribe chat and catch up. Just touch the ground with your finger and measures. Thanks for stopping by, Ava. Have a great run and great afternoon. Great weather for you. All right, so it's Instagram at Sweet Ginger Cakes. I'll have to remember that. I haven't done Instagram in a minute, but I probably should to support if I'm going to be doing more with this channel. Mostly been like Telegram, honestly, because I'm so used to getting censored everywhere else. So I just got like put in Facebook jail again the other day. As soon as they let me out, it's like, nope, you're back in again. All right, so I'm going to pull a Sacred Rebels Oracle card while we're waiting. And here's what I got. Lo and behold, it's the one that they use as the cover for the box art. So we have Legacy of Light. And this was a question I asked on behalf of the collective. So again, this message is for all of us. You're being asked to honor the legacy of light that is your sacred birthright. Take nourishment and support from those that have come before you, your ancestral lines, not only in blood, but also in spirit. Perhaps these are the beings that have inspired and motivated you to live as a sacred rebel from your heart and with belief in yourself. The more you are nourished by this legacy of light from your past, the more you become a bearer of the legacy for those that will be supported by your light in the future. This is a sacred endowment from the great universal source of light to humanity. It is the light of wisdom, creativity, radical courage, love, and respect that is passed down from the heart of each generation to the next. The legacy of light is your spiritual birthright to refine and shine your essence to the world, to be like a sun, radiant and unapologetic of your nature. The oracle of legacy of light comes to you when you need confirmation that a creative choice you're making or have made or will soon make is one that is in alignment with your sacred purpose and spiritual path of healing and growth. The legacy of light cannot be ignored without some detriment to your sense of well-being. If you were asking about a particular question and drew this card, then part of the answer to your question is that the issue at hand is one of the utmost importance to your spiritual growth, even if it seemed like a relatively insignificant question. I don't know, it was kind of a general, what message does Creator want to send us right now? The energy around this matter is relevant to your sacred birthright to shine. Perhaps you need to trust more, to know that all is well, no matter what appears to be, and to ask for help and believe that you deserve to receive it. That can be kind of hard, right? Just to break in for a second, believing that we're worthy of help from God, that God wants to help us. Hey, JR, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, Ava, thanks for sharing the alert too. I appreciate that. It's hard. I mean, it's hard for me, like as someone who is working so hard to be, not codependent, more independent, all of that. There are times though where I guess we do need to ask for help, and knowing when to do that is tricky from time to time. But there are times where we may not know something or may need guidance somewhere, and where asking for help is important. And yeah, Ginger, we've been programmed to feel unworthy. That's so true. And that's something that I work through a lot. Just using myself as an example, it's often like that inner demon that's like one of the hardest ones to conquer for a lot of people, is the feeling of unworthiness. Comes from so much of the programming that we're given, because I mean, from my perspective, I feel like that's because that's like inherent in a lot of the indoctrination that we grow up with. It's inherent in a lot of cultish thinking, like we need something outside of ourselves because we're unworthy, whether it's because of the education system, which is telling us you don't know anything, you're not worthy enough to make your way in the world without doing it this one way that the government or whoever says that you need to do it, or the religious system, where it's like there's so much great teaching in religions, but we have to, it's so hard when you're programmed and you're brought into them from a place of shame and unworthiness. Whereas looking back at some of the older texts, this morning I was reading the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. It's all about, recognizing our worthiness and our empowerment, because once we're standing in that place of worthiness and empowerment, standing in our light and our truth, then the darkness can't get in. So yeah, great point, Ginger. Let me finish reading this thing. The legacy of light also asks you to call on the unconditionally loving support that exists for you every day. This light will offer you all manner of assistance. To not call upon it is like starving because you believe you have no means to acquire food, whilst a feast lays before your eyes. If only you would partake of it. Perhaps you worry that you are asking too much of those who wish to assist you. However, this is a mistaken belief. Those beings of unconditional love who assist us spiritually each day need to shine just as we do. When they are embraced for their purpose, to assist with the spiritual growth of humanity through unconditional love, they too become a part of the legacy of light, shining bright with love and help to illuminate the world. Although you may doubt your goodness at times, and being human does mean there will be some very dark moments on your path, this oracle affirms that you are coming from love with the pure intention to simply live your life and do your best in the circumstances in which you find yourself. You are being asked to avail yourself to the help that is awaiting your request so that your own light can become a part of the greater shining legacy of divine brilliance made manifest upon the earth. This oracle is also guiding you to something in your family history or spiritual ancestry that is relevant to you now. Your spiritual ancestry can be recognized through the traditions and cultures you are intrigued by and interested in. They do not have to be the same as the spiritual traditions that you were raised with in this lifetime, although they may be. The influence of your family history and/or spiritual tradition may be encouraging and constructive, but it may also be holding you back in some ways. Sometimes we unintentionally absorb the hidden fears of our parents or a religious upbringing, such as the belief that dreams cannot manifest, or that we have to compromise to the point of losing what makes us feel truly alive. If you can relate to this, or want healing just in case it is happening beyond the level of your conscious awareness, simply complete the healing process below. I really like that because it mentions something that I've been thinking about lately, where we have, our physical heritage, where like the cultures we came from. For example, mine is largely Celtic, and I appreciate and value a lot of that culture. But there are also things about other cultures that I appreciate and value as well. And it's important, I think, for us to balance respecting other cultures with also recognizing, respecting other cultures, not wanting to just appropriate cultures, but at the same time recognizing there is value there. And I feel like, when it comes to cultural appropriation, there are two sides of it. Like there's one side that's saying like, if you are, culturally appropriating anything, then that's just bad across the board. And I mean, yes, that can be the case if you're doing it from the perspective of, oh, I just want to, use this as a means to, I don't know, manipulate people or get money or whatever, or to just build my, like, just to inflate my ego, or because I don't have enough of my own identity that I become lost in something else. Yes, we don't want to be doing those things, but at the same time, it's so valuable to learn from other cultures and see what teachings, the shamanistic practices of those cultures have to show us, the wisdom. I feel like I've learned so much listening to shaman like Credo Mutwa and Chief Golden Light Eagle of the Native Americans. So there's so many out there, like so many teachers, and there's so much wisdom that we can learn from them. And it's not, I feel like in some ways, like the hammer of like being accused of, oh, you're culturally appropriating something, can be used as another way to separate us, keep us separate, and work against Christ consciousness. Yeah. Catch up on the chat. Ava says, yes, standing in our truth, empowerment, independence. That's right, Ava. Ginger says, yes, we feel good to help others. We should know that they too will feel good to help us. So don't be reluctant to ask for help. That's right, Ginger. And like knowing how to do that is so important. That's something that's going to be, that's a challenge for me. Like I'll be straight up. And a lot of the advice that I've been getting in my own personal tarot readings has been Six of Cups, like that friendliness card, just the that like reaching out in friendship and that friendly love that we have together in this, new conscious community that's growing. Um, I think because when we're on like this journey of truth and discovery, so often it's like a solitary thing, and it can be tricky to balance it with reaching out. It's tricky for me, and it's something that I've been working through quite a bit. Um, and yeah, Ginger, you said that it's another programming phrase to divide us. It's a new one. It's also ridiculous. Yeah, it is a new one, isn't it? It's also ridiculous how extreme the views are on appropriation. Yeah, I agree. It's like one of those things like the feminist movement that, there are good things about it, but then it's taken to like such like an extreme polarizing degree, right? Like where, you had like first wave feminism where it was about giving women like equal rights, like the rights to vote and all of that. Now, I mean, I know that there's a lot there too where like that may have been, I mean, the whole voting thing we know has been manipulated for years, but like at least on the one level, like it was, seemed like a good thing, to help give women those same rights and the same rights to have access to things that they wouldn't normally have access to. But like as we got more into like second and third wave feminism, it became more and more about making it like this militaristic thing where now it's women versus men and or whatever, and even women versus other women, where like it was so thoroughly taken advantage of and manipulated to just again like find new ways to rip people apart and find things to I think grip people in like a sense of anger and vengefulness. And it's I've noticed like with a lot of these like um, these groups where they'll come in and they'll often be like funded or manipulated by like who the wonderful characters that we're often dealing with, these bankers and everything. Like they'll start like revolutions in countries and things like that, but it's never to really genuinely give power back to the people. It's just to cause further destabilization so that they can come in with their solutions. The state can come in with their solutions, or an outside party um, controlled by these bankers, or who can come in and do things their way and say, "Oh, look at this solution we're giving you now." So, and it goes back to the Hegelian dialectic and all of that. Isn't it great that we're moving out of that now as we wake up as a species? Um, but yeah, you're right. The labels are so unnecessary. Very true. And it's just another way that's like been used to break people apart in that way. If you're involved in a group project, this oracle is asking you to stay true to the heart of why you began working together in the first place and to seek assistance, protection, and guidance. Let me just see if Kayla has messaged me. Okay. No, she hasn't. So, that yes, this is a part of your life path, and you are encouraged to take it further. You are also acknowledged through this oracle as having some special creative and healing offering to make the world in this lifetime, to make to the world in this lifetime. You will leave a legacy of light for the greater good upon this planet, and you will be lovingly supported in many ways by the great creative universal intelligence when you ask for help. If you don't know how to do that, just complete the healing process below. So if you want, you can do this. I'm going to do it slowly. Say aloud, through unconditional love, I am open to receiving the support, guidance, protection, and assistance that I need to manifest the legacy of light that shines through me now. I release any conscious or unconscious attachments to beliefs or relationship patterns that hold me back from fully shining my light in the world. I ask that my creative journey be aligned with my spiritual path and blessed for the greatest good. So be it. Place your hands in prayer at your heart and close your eyes. Bow your head to your hands and imagine, sense, or perceive that a beautiful golden light pours down from the center of the universe into the top of your head. It then flows slowly down through your head and into your heart, all the way down through your body and out through the soles of your feet. When you are ready, simply open your eyes and you have completed your healing process. So I'm going to do, Ginger, if you have any suggestions, let me know, but I'm thinking I'm going to do a quick tarot spread on what the energies look like for this weekend. And I'm going to hold the cards up when I pull them because I don't really have a way to show them very easily. But let me know what you think. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to know about. And again, I'm still really new at this. So helpful feedback is welcome. I mean, that means, constructive criticism, anything like that. So let's see, Creator God, what are the energies looking like this weekend that you would like us to know about and what we should be aware of with whatever information is coming forward? Sorry about that. I'm going to close this for now. All right, sounds good. So I'm just dividing. All right. So I pulled a Kachina knife. This is what we're looking at. So asking about, what are the energies going to be like this weekend and what should we know? In the past, we have the Six of Wands. So that means, riding out into victory and passion, because we are passionate in this movement, are we not? Like we're so ready and so passionate about making the world a better place. For us, I have the Four of Wands, showing that we're at a gateway. We are moving forward and leveling up, and it is going to be so much better. We also, like, the current surrounding energies are the Nine of Cups. We're in a place of what we've been working towards so long, being manifested for us, like our wishes coming together, like for a better world, free from control from the controllers and the paradigms that have held us back for so long. And our current surrounding energies is the Nine of Pentacles, which is all about, independence. This woman is, and this is really what, the ideal feminist movement, I think, was meant to be about. This woman is standing in her independence. She is surrounded by things that she's labored hard for. She has a falcon, which is something that only those who are really skilled and really abundant, who have their own sense of independence and abundance, would be able to have. Um, I often think like if I would ever come back again, I would probably want to come back as maybe a hawk or a falcon, feel a lot of resonance, and maybe I've been one previously. But yeah, Ava, pre-Empress energy, that's right. Um, and so like ready to get into that, that new place of where we're now living in that abundance, that comfort, like we're strong in our dependence, we're ready to move forward. Um, hey Kendrick, thank you so much for joining us. It's awesome. For the future, I have the King of Cups. Um, us being more balanced in our intuition, but also having an understanding of our emotional connectedness. He's got his toe in the water, just barely, um, knowing the his emotional, like the emotions around him. But he has really good boundaries, and he's making sure to stay in a place of intuition and guidance. And so, I think that's what we're going to be. I think that's what we're going to be encouraged to do this weekend, because we also have, as our advice, we have um, the King of Swords. So we're going to be seeing some justice. It might not seem um, entirely direct at first. The King of Justice, or the King of Swords, his sword leans slightly towards his right. Now he has been aspected here with the devil. So we have, this weekend we may see more of these guys being exposed and coming out, and some of this kind of wavy justice. And I'd say, that's why it's so important that we remember, to be in our King of Cups energy and our Nine of Pentacles energy. Remember our independence and our sovereignty. Remember our emotional connection, like have good boundaries, but use our intuition to help us have the right boundaries, connect and reach out to others who need help, who need that love right now, because there may be quite a few of those people around you or around us who are confused and scared as more and more of this information comes out. I also see like some people doing some things that I'm just like, I wouldn't do that. Like people at my work who are all of a sudden like going, oh, like the banks are crashing. Now's the time to get involved in the stock market. I'm just like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Not telling them what to do, but just kind of like, I've heard great things about silver and metals and XRP, if you're really wanting to invest. But right now, it's also really just so good to invest in, what in the community around us. And I think that's something we're being asked to do a lot as well. So, yeah. So I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on what I pulled. Please feel free to share. Um, Again, I'm still learning, still a little new to all this, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm just going to check one more time to see if Kayla's said anything. I know she's been really busy with her kids, so it might be that she just couldn't make it today. And I know she would want to. Yeah, I haven't heard back from her. So let's see. Oh, cool. You found out that some of the guys you work with are investing in silver. That's great. At least that they're doing that. They know about the foreign currencies. I actually should educate myself more on some of the foreign currencies. Like I know the Zim is supposed to be a good one to look at. And maybe Ginger, are there any others that you know of being good choices right now? Or Ava, if you're able to chime in. I think the Iraqi dinar was the other one that I was hearing good things about. Yeah, the DNR and the Zim. And then I'm wondering too, though, like how long of a transitional period is this going to be? DNR, yeah. Um, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the DNR too. I think you can get them on like eBay and things like that. But I've started actually just kind of really feeling things out too on currencies as well. Because I mean, I haven't come across any scammers for things like that yet, but I've also still been careful, just be like making sure this is actual currency that you're getting and not just like some kind of you know, fake. Um, eBay, yeah, yeah. So check eBay for dinar and I guess for Zim. Um, and I'm not sure if you can buy. I would think you could buy like Russian rubles and stuff too if you wanted to. Um, I also keep hearing like about the rainbow currency. It seems like it keeps going back and forth. Like on the one hand, I'll hear like, oh no, that's just made up. Like that's not actually going to be a thing. And then other readers will come and find out like, yes, there is going to be a rainbow currency. Like it is legit. And it seems like from what I've gathered, from people like Janine or Joe have been talking about the rainbow currency, like they've kind of gone back and forth on it. It's something that they hadn't wanted to do, but then they've been, last I had heard, reconsidering it. And I'm sure y'all have seen like some of the supposed bills leaked, um, whether they're real or not. I mean, most of the ones I saw look pretty legit to me. Um, so yeah, let's see. Let's ask more question like what should we be doing financially right now um, to help us prepare? Is there any advice that Creator God has for us in that sector? And do one more shuffle. I'm impressed with how sturdy this deck is, y'all, because the other day I was out at a state park nearby and I straight up was like, I'm gonna bring my tarot cards and I'm gonna like, find stuff. I'm gonna, if I find like, um, look for like petrified giants or whatever. I'm gonna use my cards to find out like, is this what I think it is and all that kind of thing. And I was right next to a creek and half the cards like blew into the creek. But thankfully, like these Rider-Waite cards, they're sturdy, and I just picked them up and dried them off. It was just funny though, getting a little bit too much into the woo, I think, at the time. But I was having fun. Yes, this is stuff Beachgoer 209 has been looking into. I don't have a lot of knowledge on it. Yeah, I've heard of them. Shoot, where have I seen them? Are they on Telegram? I think they're on Telegram. All right, it's enough shuffling. Yeah, Junior. I was like, having fun. All right, so what should we know? Any advice about finances? All right, so something interesting. Right, so yeah, exactly, JR. Watch the water. I like literally thought the moment that happened, like watch the water, you know. Um, so I got the Knight of Cups for the past. Like us being very emotionally attached to money and finances, to it kind of guiding us and leading us along. And now for us, I have the Magician. So we're working on manifesting for ourselves, like our needs. And then I also have as the current energies the Six of Pentacles, which is all about in our case, like, because I was asking about us, like, what should we be doing? be ready to help others in this time. And maybe like if we have something that we're able to help give, whether it is finances or maybe it's something, because um, it's not just about money, like it could be about food or whatever. um, Maybe having a little extra on hand to help our neighbors if they need it or what have you. um, be ready to help out where we can, where we need to. um, that's what I'm getting from this Six of Pentacles. And then the middle energies I have, da 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 da, Judgment. The Awakening card, right? Like this is coming up so much. I'm either getting Judgment or the Tower, or the Death card in so many readings, especially when it comes to the financial system. This is our big wake up call. Instead of us just kind of being like, running around going chasing after money or whatever, now it's more about waking up, recognizing how we can use our generosity and exchange energy from a healthy place. That's what I'm feeling. And then in the future, I have the Knight of Swords, charging forward, with the information. Like, so we are going to get new information coming out quickly about finances, I feel, because it's swords are thoughts and words. So that is coming quickly. And then for advice, I have Temperance for us, and then it's aspected with the Four of Cups. So remembering to stay in a balanced place, whether we really want to or not. Emotionally, some of us might be kind of frustrated, or feeling like we're not getting what we want right away, or like this whole situation isn't moving as quickly as we would like. So I'm speaking about myself again. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, how is this still a thing? Like, how are these events still going? Like, all of this, all of the pow events and all of that. And I'm like, how are these things still happening? But I recognize that it's also a part of waking up people who are asleep, and that it requires so much patience. And I have to sit back and tell myself, like, imagine how incredibly patient our spirit guides are with us. Imagine how incredibly patient the those who are in the good secret societies, like the Great White Brotherhood, have had to be for thousands of years, knowing the truth and knowing everything that's going on, and yet they fought and worked so hard to preserve the light, the Essenes, and the all of that. So it's just it's so you have to, like, that helps me put things into perspective when I think about that, about how patient they have been for so many centuries. And yeah, let me catch up with you here, Ginger. Yeah, she's usually also in the chat. That's awesome. We watch on YouTube and usually on our phones in the chat. I'm upstairs working. She's downstairs. Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha. That's really great, though, that you're able to do that together. And thank you so much for your encouragement. I really appreciate it. I may start doing this more. It's a lot of fun. Yes, we feel that so much. I honestly knocked myself out of it quickly. I don't want to manifest a delay while dwelling on the delay. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. It's so easy to get wrapped up in all of the drama, and especially when it hits close to home. I'm like involved in a very serious, like, court battle with my kids right now. And it there's only so much I can do, because the law protects, kids getting the things in the arm. The law protects all of that. And so being outside of that is so hard when you're like, yeah, this is really one of those cases where legal doesn't mean good or right, you know? And having to like stand up for what is good or right and then be punished for it is very hard. It's very painful. And to go like, what's, you know, what do we do? Like, when will the truth come out to where people will finally get it? And so it can be really frustrating. But I really have to like take a moment to think back on history, or at least the history we know and have been told. Um, Situations where, you know, you had uh, all kinds of tyrants forcing things on people that were legal but not right. And, you know, you had that one picture of Hitler. Everyone, there's a whole bunch of people listening to a speech Hitler's giving. Um, and I think it was Hitler, or it's something like that, where there's like everyone's got their arms sticking out, they're doing the salute except for this one guy, and he's got his arms folded. And it's like, be that one guy, you know, even if you're the only one, you've got to be the one to do it because you know. And at the end of the day, we have to honor our, you know, our higher self and our connection to Creator God and to Spirit. Um, yeah, I understand, Ginger. I can't imagine waiting that long, though. That's quite an incentive for that. Yeah, me too. Um, and it's incredible when you think about it. But I think about it a lot in this way, where, you know, I was talking about this in my last video, um, which was a longer video, so I timestamped it for anyone who hasn't seen it is interested. I tried to break it down so that if there's a part that interests you more, you might be able to, you can just jump to that part. But I talked about soul embodiment and what I'm understanding that to mean more and more versus like NPCs. At least when it comes to regular people, NPCs being those who are more either younger souls or just more easily programmed. And so they're going along with whatever they're told, and they're just, you know, day after day following orders, and they're not coming from a place of higher consciousness. So they're not connected with their soul. They're kind of in that waking dream state of just going through the motions and doing whatever they're told, and living through fear. And when we do the inner work, when we become aware of our personal sovereignty, and like the value that we have. And I'm not talking about sovereignty over others like we've had pushed on us for so many centuries. I'm talking about our own personal sovereignty, like recognizing our value, while at the same time, you know, giving to and loving those around us. We exercise that soul embodiment in such a powerful way. Like we're really becoming, you know, we have good boundaries with ourselves and with others, so that we're loving and caring for ourselves, and we are also able to give in a healthy way, to where we're not being drained or taken away from. We're not giving too much of ourselves. So like soul embodiment, from what I'm understanding, from what Honey Golden has talked about, is more of us coming into that knowledge of who we truly are as divine, you know, immortal beings, aspects of Source Creator God, who are here now to help this planet raise its frequency. And we do that by loving ourselves in a healthy way, and also coming from that place, showing that love to others. So yeah, step for world. That's right. um, so yeah, it's so, I don't know if I got off track there, but it's so important right now. And yeah, we cannot go back after knowing the truth. Our lives really are like in the movies. That's right, Ginger. Yeah, the yeah, there's just so much that, you know, that we're learning. And honestly, I feel like, you know, those of us who are like, growing up, this isn't just me, but many of us, like you see that character in the movie. Like for me, it was Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, right? And going, I want to be that guy. I want to be the one who stands up to the evil and who does the right thing and who doesn't give in to um, their bribes and their controlling schemes and everything else. Um, and I really, want um, to live that life. And I was able to once at a convention, I had the opportunity to talk to Mark Hamill, and I told him, how much I appreciated um, how inspiring it was for me. And I'm sure he'd heard this a million times. And I don't know like who he really is like as a person, but this showed me a lot. I told him how inspired I was by his portrayal of Luke and how it really encouraged me spiritually to to be that person to stand up. And he basically said like, yeah, never stop doing that. You always need to just keep doing that, keep moving forward. And it was really, really cool to hear him say that. And I don't know like what his backstory is, or like if he'd been involved with the bad guys at all or anything or not, but I could tell in that moment that he did have a very genuine understanding of what really matters in the world. And it was really cool to see at the time. And I mean, this was even before I was largely awake to a lot of the manipulation and control. So yeah, so let's right in the end. And I mean, we've all been there. There are times too where past we've been the villain, like maybe in just this lifetime where we can look back and recognize situations and things where we say, oh, I wish I could have done so much better. Like, why did I respond or behave this way or react this way? Or even in past lifetimes, we may have been, may have been the abuser. And it's so important though for us not to get stuck on the idea of like, oh, I was this horrible, that we are this terrible person and we're, embodying that or identifying that, but rather to, now we're in the place where we can see and learn, we've learned the lessons. Now we can move forward, right? And not staying in the place of shame or judgment, but of growth, because that's what gets us out of this situation. That's what increases the vibration of this planet. That's what causes us to grow together. Yeah, and no worries, Ginger. I gotcha. I'm following what you're saying. Yeah. So I'm really sorry, guys, that Kayla couldn't make it today, but I think what we'll do is I'll see if I can reschedule with her and we'll try for another time. And even so, I feel like we got to have a great chat. Thank you all so much for being here. Ava, JR, Ginger, Kendrick, thank you all so much for joining us. And hopefully, yeah, we'll reach out to her and see if we can reschedule again soon. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a blessed weekend. And remember to continue to find the joy in everything that you do and to manifest from your joy. I love all of you. Have a great day. Namaste.